Karma, but
Okay, here we go. Any ban on red side, pretty common. Varus ban, Lucian ban against Lift Sandbox. And we have the Caitlyn up, of course, so it ends up being Caitlyn Lux into Ezreal Karma. KT has been prioritizing the Karma pick overall. This makes a lot of sense. Sejuani ban against Cuz. So he's going to take his second best champ of the season, which has been the Wukong. This is really expected. KT does much better when they have champions like Jax, Sejuani, and Karma. Jax not going to be banned yet. Jax will be banned in the next rotation, most likely. It is a common Keen ban. They're going to take away Renekton. Okay, Elise in Italy. Interesting. From Willer.
steal that one away.
The Lee Sin is still available. They're going to ban Lissandra. Okay. BDD has been excellent on to Azir. Okay.
And feel very safe.
This is very strong front-to-back team fighting composition, and they're going to make it stronger just by taking Ornn into the top side. Love KT's draft here. I love KT's draft. Ornn is going to be unkillable. Super standard composition, but it's a lot of champions they're very, very good on. The Karma is probably the most important pick for KT.
So that she can then later carry and blow up those backline targets.
The thing about Karma and KT is that aiming is much, much stronger. He can take over games on scaling picks, so Ezreal, the Zeri, and the Karma prevents KT from getting everything shoved in the bot side, and it gives aiming time to scale into the late game. BDD has been really on fire the last couple weeks too. So I really like this draft for KT. This makes a lot more sense than the drafts we were seeing last week from them, where they just like refused to play to their strengths. To be fair, they also got the Sejuani, Jax, and Karma banned against them consistently. Or first picked away from them. I strongly disagree with Liv Sandbox's draft. So the thing is that you don't want to against KT, you want to first pick Karma, which is what we saw D+ do. If you first pick Caitlyn, I guarantee you they are taking Karma Ezreal. This is what they want to do, right? These two picks are what KT wants spot. Because this is a classic, this is the classic Caitlyn Lux counter push lane. Right? This lane actually wins, and Caitlyn Lux have to push in early. So I mean, you feel super good about this. You feel super good about this. Hang on, guys. Oops. I'm drawing myself a mustache. Okay, there we go. Now we can watch the game.
Separated by 1 point, both of them now currently sitting on 8 and 5 as far as their win-loss for matches. So whoever wins this will be 5th.
Yes, Ornn has huge value this game. Agreed, Nymera. Crazy value. KT's comp is really strong.
Schedule that they had, right, where they did not.
LSB's draft is garbage.
But then bounced back against Genji. A win here. Definitely expected from them.
You mean Monty's good twin has taken over?
Singularity, a lot of value. Peacemaker, 0 value. So you'll take it 50%.
This is a Bender Flexo situation, guys.
See how Lahen's going to be able to do. What I've really enjoyed from his Karma is not even necessarily his laning. It's been how well he's got out of lane and really affected the jungle alongside Cuz.
Yeah. I was gonna say the exact same thing because he has been so good
whatever, man.
This particular matchup.
This is a fucking shit draft from Liv Sandbox. Like, why you would ever play this draft into KT is beyond me.
There will actually affect the jungle matchup. Will assist Cuz if there's a tussle for that level 3 on the blue buff, stuff like that. He's just incredibly good at his game sense and his experience really shining through.
Yeah, aiming is 6-0. On the Ezreal.
Yeah, it's crazy how many times they've made this duo work.
Yep, aiming is 6-0 on Ezreal. This is fucking doomed, guys. Here's the thing. You can draft like this against other teams, but you can't give KT this. This is the KT zone. They've entered the KT zone.
Here in this lane, as you would expect in the early early levels, as Willa is paying a bit of a visit.
Is the
over to
Futurama
BD.
revival by
There's the,
Disney still happening?
Shifting Sands.
It's being revived by
And Willa's
Hulu, so
not even
yes,
gonna be
that's
able to
owned
find
by
the
Disney.
breaker.
And yes, it's still
As
happening. I think it's going to be
Sneaky
out
Monkey
soon. I'm so excited.
Gets into the brush.
I fucking love
See,
Futurama.
Jonah Strong was trying to hide him. But he's
I also
going to
like how it's been
himself out
revived,
now.
what, 5 times
Moves
now?
over and the red buff is up and available.
He's going to come down here now, knowing that Vi is on the Raptors, and look for an early gank here. This is great pathing from Cuz.
Yeah, life binding is also going to bait them out as well as now the flash forward from Lahans.
It's free real estate,
He
guys.
knows that he's dead. He's trying to trade this one back, and they immediately jump onto Kyle as well. That is gonna be
Is there
kill
even a point
for
to
most
watching
of
this
the
game?
bottom
I don't
laners
even
of
know.
KT, and already the start is fantastic for the red
It's
team.
there's
This is
no
so
there's
well
no
set
there's
from Cuz
literally
because
no
he's
point to
tracking
watching this
where
game any
Willer
longer.
is. He knows
The
he has
amount
red
of
buff
fuck up
advantage
that
with the
KT would
pathing
have to
he's
have
taken,
to make
so
this
duel
game
the
close
Vi and
after
push
just
her
winning
out,
this
and then come down
lane
and make
bot,
Raptors and look for an early gank
dude.
here.
List Sandbox are just fucking
He's
trolling.
going to move himself out now.
Yeah,
Moves over, and the red buff is up and available.
He just
He's gonna come
goes,
down
checks
here now,
red
knowing
buff.
that
He's
Vi
like,
is on
oh,
the
Vi isn't
Raptors,
there.
looking for
It's
an early gank
free.
here. This is great pathing from
Oh, they get baited because
Cuz.
they
Yeah,
get the
life binding
fucking
is also gonna
binding,
bait
so
them
they
out as
walk
well
up
as now the
further.
flash forward from Lahans. Envy. He
It's
knows
so
that he's
gross,
dead.
man.
He's trying to trade this one back, and they immediately jump onto Kyle as well. That is going to be a kill.
Also,
Gonna bait. Moves over, and
what
the red
is
buff
Willer
is up and
doing?
available.
He's gonna come down
He's not
here
even
now, knowing
covering
that Vi
this?
is on the Raptors and look for an early.
This is, by the way, this is a tale as old as Wukong time. Okay, 3 camp into invade. Okay, let's just talk about this. Let's talk about how stupid everything in this game is, besides the draft.
The game score between these two teams is separated by 1 point.
Okay, they
Both of
see
them
Vi there on
now currently
Raptors.
sitting on 8 and 5 of this series. So important. Remember, guys, the game score between
Ward
these
goes
two
in.
teams is separated by 1
They
point.
see Vi on
Will
Raptors.
now currently
They
sitting
know
on
there's a
8 and
ward there.
5 as far as their win-loss for matches. So whoever
They
wins
know
this
Vi is
will be
if they
fifth
don't
place.
see
Whoever
Vi on
loses
Raptors
this
here,
will
they
be
know
sixth.
Vi is probably
That's just
pathing
how
towards
the cookie
bottom
is
because they
going
want to
to
push
crumble.
up at level,
Yeah.
starting at level 1.
2-0 for KT would even up their score with Hanwha Life Esports as well in terms of the games, to put them both on +6. The end of their incredibly tough schedule that they had.
Wukong
right,
is
where they
here.
did
There's a
not
late
stave
ward
off
that
the
goes in
pressure.
from
A
Akali.
lot of value
They see
even
Wukong.
necessarily his laning.
So
They know
good,
Wukong's
the matchup
pathing
will-
because they
Yeah.
see him go to
Aiming was
Krugs.
6. It was quite that on the Ezreal
the blue win
alongside
stave off the pressure in the early matchups going
0 value.
You know, he starts. They know he starts Raptors because they see him walk from Raptors.
Lux.
So he's going to go over here.
Blue buff, stuff
Now,
like
it's
that.
not the typical
He's just
pathing of
incredibly good
Red
at his game
Krugs
sense.
Raptors invade because that's a little bit
Experience
more
really
efficient,
shining.
obviously.
Yeah. Aiming
And-
is 6-0 on the Ezreal.
Yeah, it's crazy how many times.
So
they
he
made this
avoids the
work.
ward by Wing
done
into
it
that
with other
brush and
supports
walking
too.
around,
Yeah.
but you
Pretty impressive.
you
I
have
actually
to
didn't
assume
realize
the
that he was
Wukong's invading
quite
you.
that good.
You have to assume that's an option.
For
Level
KT.
3 Wukong
Right
invade
now,
is all-time
struggling
classic.
a little bit here in this lane, as you would expect in the early levels, as Willa is
What I say
paying
about
a bit of a
facial
visit
hair?
over to BDD. There's the
That you wanted me to grow it out at one point in time.
and Willa's not even going to be able to find the Vault Breaker, as sneaky monkey gets into the brush. All we can see, Jonah Strong was trying to hide him, but he's going to move himself out now.
Like, you have to cover
Moves
this
over
if you're
and the red
Willer.
buff is up and available.
He's gonna come down.
He's going to check red buff. If Vi's on red, he duels Vi here, right? You can all in Vi as Wukong at level 3. But he doesn't see Vi there, so he knows Vi is at Raptors, so it's just free.
This is great pathing from Cuz.
Yeah, live
Is it
binding
great
also gonna beat
pathing?
them out as well,
It's-
as now the
I
flash
feel
forward
like
from
it's
Lahans.
normal.
Envy, he knows that he's dead. He's trying to trade this one back, and they immediately jump onto Kyle as well. That is going to be a kill for both of the bottom laners of KT, and already the start
Everything
is
about this game is just so
fantastic for the red
annoying.
team.
And this is so well set up from Cuz because he's tracking where Willer is. He knows he has red buff advantage with the pathing he's taken, so can duel the Vi and push her out and then come down and make this happen, or at least, is Lion just going to get a faster back?
That's a nice way to do it.
He at least can force this Caitlyn Lux back. That's like worst case scenario for him with how he set this up, but if they are going to continue to be greedy and Willer doesn't see him, he could actually look for some big kills here, and that's what he gets. So 2 deaths here early on the bottom side of the map. This is a disaster already for Live Sandbox.
Yeah,
This is
really
what I was saying. You know, Caitlyn might not get a massive amount of plates or get like a 20 CS lead, but she shouldn't die.
Yeah, also Kyle just got mega baited by that light binding.
Illegal, right?
Like you're going to fucking kill a Karma at level 2.
Good, but you cannot just pick it into anything. You need to do your due diligence. You need to ban the Karma.
Yeah, I totally agree. Imagine not banning or first picking Karma versus KT. Like, you literally were given this playbook by D+ last week. D+ literally just first picked Karma because they realized that KT is not very good without Karma.
But with aiming on his Ezreal, KT have the flexibility of doing it that way too.
Yeah, with the Karma too, you just don't take that much damage while you defend your turret, so you can just aggressively push back, as we saw aiming on the Hens do there, and actually start the fight before the Wukong even gets there, because you haven't taken that much damage. A lot of other lanes with the Caitlyn against you, like a Zeri lane, you take too much damage, you can't fight back. Hens, this is what I was talking about with his roams.
Yeah,
shouldn't be here though.
Going to take
Imagine just actively counterpicking yourself.
He's just dead.
Well, he ends in river, so I guess there's that.
Sure what was happening there. When he died to the
Imagine walking around in river when bot and mid are both pushed in.
Against you like a Zeri lane, you take too much damage, you can't fight back. Hens, this is what I was talking about with his roams. Yeah, shouldn't be here though.
Going to take closer for a walk. He doesn't have flash, remember, guys.
Okay.
Well, was very rude and died.
Choice.
So couldn't be hit in order to
That's
get
a choice.
Do
I like anchovy pizza? Hell yeah, I love anchovies.
Not entirely sure. So we're going to check this one out once again.
As you mentioned, the light binding is kind of a trap here, unfortunately, because it makes you want to go forward, and Cuz is seen and envious, like, I just do as much damage as I can. And Kyle trying his best here to grab one more binding on the aiming. Wouldn't have killed him anyways. And then Lehens is going to, as you say, just push this in, I guess, grab aggro here. Because if he tries to get a Spell Thieves, you know.
Yeah, he didn't. Never mind.
He killed him anyways. And then Lehens is going to, as you say, just push this in, I guess, grab
smart move by
here.
Lehens, actually.
If he tries to get a Spell Thieves, you know.
Yeah, he didn't. Never mind. He's just going for a quick back.
He just wants a quick back. Now, this is like what you do.
Actually, a good play, weirdly.
Your Karma here, and you want to go help out your mid laner who has no mana. Unfortunately, he is caught and punished. That was a bit of a bizarre choice. Without flash, it's harder to back that one up. But look, Lehens has been so aggressive in this series already, in the Genji series on the Leona. He's just doing his own thing.
Well, Vault Break is really good, but aiming has Arcane Shift, so not a lot of options there as far as being able to lock down that kill. Cuz just waiting in this brush, and pretty sure Willa had an idea of what was going on there.
He used his Q on the ward.
Gonna have to back away. Good slow to connect onto Kyle, as Cuz just warrior tricks to get himself out of there, and he'll be absolutely fine. A lot of bot lane attention, but if we peer towards the top side of the map, Keen has actually stayed within touching distance here of the Jace, which is fantastic news if you're a KT fan, because we have seen this matchup go very much Jace favored in the early game. Not this time around. Keen actually playing it out very well.
The cool thing about this Ezreal Karma lane too here, Atlas, is that when you are gifted these kills, it doesn't mean you get money and then you actually just come back and win the lane, but you now just get to comfortably farm, and there's like no threat, there's no fear. You know Willer's not level 6, he can't dive you. Like,
thank you, Charlie O, for your tier 1 subscriber. You're not being a bum.
Here early, so could stack that one.
Like all these other people just freeloading on the stream. Charlie O is a proud contributor.
Because Live Sandbox don't have, you know, a ton of win
certainly more
elsewhere.
gentlemanly.
You're like, well, I should be able to get this mid game fine. I also have good team fighting here with the Ornn and the Azir. The one problem is that death on
not a nephew, literal bum.
Money given over to closer. If anyone else gets that kill, you feel less bad. So there is that one closer angle here that you're a little bit concerned about. If this
just you guys just squatting there on my stream
in these upcoming early game fights.
No, you're exactly right.
Thank you, Don Weaver, for Jeff Bezos' money.
The flash to guarantee the knock up onto Bertle. He knows that he's dead. Cuz is going to rocket his way through. It's going to be a solo kill.
Ooh. Smart to not use flash, though. It was definitely dead. Did draw out flash from Keen, so he might actually have a shot at surviving later on. It's going to be just a free fucking Herald, too, I guess.
Without any shadowing from their junglers, and Cuz finding the pathing to come over and punish. They had a lot of deep vision. There's a control ward in the river.
Oh, Crimscast, you're casting NACL quals? Fun.
I have to push this advantage.
For you.
I have to try to get a CS lead here. But he gets caught, and so now Cuz making 2 heroic plays here, bot side and top. Feeling amazing right now if you're KT Rolls about getting through this early game.
Charlie O, you feel like you just walked in on something? Yeah, you walked in on a bunch of squalid hobos staring at Monty. But you're not a squalid hobo, don't worry. You're wearing a tuxedo.
And Rift Herald.
Staring at Monty. But at least you have a nice glass of brandy.
Keen and his ability to
and I appreciate
solo
you.
kill his lane opponent and donate the kill to Cuz. Like, imagine having that as your top laner.
I love Alorum. He's such a nice guy. I didn't know Dardoch was in there too. I didn't know he wasn't kept coaching this split.
He's like, I'm gonna go for my Q. He hits the Q.
Keen gets a nice flash ulti engaged there.
He, of course,
he bounced around into the wall. Okay.
And then he says, you eat it, you eat it. Yeah. He's calling out that he wants to give the kill. And, Willer should be fine here, but they're going to take some damage. And KT actually getting some control over this Drake here with the Ezreal Karma lane into the Caitlyn is feeling amazing. You know, things could hardly be better.
Yeah. No, this is, like, because it's almost too good. Like, KT's composition shouldn't be ahead at this point in time. But
thank you, RSA lol. This is Rob. Involved in casting? What am I doing besides Twitch at the moment? Well, I'm streaming a lot. I'm doing shows, man. Running Last Free Nation, the company. So doing lots of podcasts, making all the content, global power rankings, etc., etc. Building out the business.
And this Drake.
An exciting time.
Available for now. Willer collects himself a Rift Scuttler. Oh, one plate does go down, so never mind. Yeah, they managed to get one, but if you haven't taken a turret by 15 minutes, I think that you're saying that things are bad.
I love Keen, man. He's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he does grab that one with this,
in LCK right now.
Push here as KT are really trying to get this Drake control, but look at the resources that are forced here, right? Envy and Kyle have to keep moving out of lane. So
thank you, Rakeem, for your tier 1 subscription. Enjoy your complimentary glass of fine brandy. It's e-brandy, but it's still good.
Going to usher Shirley towards this turret. Willer's coming over. See whether he can actually deny this. The answer is no. BDD collects a plate.
This is going to be a rough one for Live Sandbox.
Yeah,
they basically are just losing all the lanes they should be winning, except for mid, and scaling is better, and KT is very proficient on these champions.
Given the opportunity to get a free Rift Herald there, as Closer can't do anything. The Emperor's Divide is up. Cyclone is up with Flash.
Have I completely quit Overwatch? I mean, pretty much. I would argue that Blizzard has completely quit Overwatch. That's what I would argue.
Which, again, your composition would have liked to have, right? You know, with this Caitlyn lane as Kyle.
That's another flash
maintains the tether? He's dead.
There's the Arcane Shift for the kill. As Envy is trying to get this 1v1, but he misses with the Peacemaker. As aiming is just going to
classic support double kill.
It's a double kill for Lehens in the end.
Lehens, man, he's just making it happen with these flashes. Grabs the root there. And
first season of Overwatch League was so good, man. I agree. I mean, it's not that. I think it was very promising. It's just too bad it was ruined.
This Karma actually getting ahead is significant because
I had a lot of fun on the first 2 seasons of Overwatch.
Speed up the pace of the game here.
Maybe it's the Leandri's angle here for the Karma. You know, go for the carry. He's got so many kills.
And with the
have any Talent Express reservations working with LFN due to fear of Riot? No. But I doubt they would tell me. But honestly, like, we haven't had a lot of, we haven't asked, you know, that many people yet. And we have a ton of League of Legends content, guys. We don't really need more LoL content. So, more interested in how we can expand into other games than I am League of Legends. We have 4 shows in League. Like, do we need more shows in League? I don't think so.
It's going from bad to worse?
Yeah.
How this shit is Ornn beaten lane? Yeah, Ornn beaten Jason lane. Well, Birdall is very inconsistent. Number 1, he got 1v1'd basically by the Ornn. Yes, I know Wukong was there, but I mean, Ornn would have killed him anyway.
And unfortunately, it means now that a lot of the excitement and fun has kind of gone because Live Sandbox was supposed to be ahead, and KT can cruise so comfortably.
Should have let the plate die there. That disappointed in aiming.
Kind of gone because
you should have let this plate die.
To be ahead, and KT can cruise so comfortably.
Maybe that last caster minion attack, if he hadn't queued, would have let the plate die.
Heroics, and it has happened before, right? The Willa
The bike
angle
Monty.
needs
Yeah, we'll
to
get back
come
to that.
through again.
Yeah.
He stole Baron. He stole Soul. He stole
Yeah, we want to do
Elder.
other games.
And,
Honestly, guys,
he's
we
gonna
want to
have to be
do
my way wrong.
we want to
Like,
do
that's the
non-esports
way we're gonna
content.
do this.
Like
If you live
you know,
Sandbox,
Doa and I
that's
want to
what you're
do the like the
I love
nerd
how Cuz is down
TV
here
show
trying to set up with this vision
So like
push,
keeping
a
track of
potential
you know
gank
whatever
turning flashless
new
Caitlyn.
sci-fi or
And
fantasy
then
show
he's like,
comes
"Wait,
out.
Envy's mid."
So you know, as new
just
shows
giving
come
up.
out, new
So
seasons of
Caitlyn is gonna
shows
give
come
me
out.
Ezreal
We
another
do
play
like
here,
a
as
frequent
Ezreal gets
podcast
to get
about
white
that.
gold against
Doa and I
the
want to work
Caitlyn,
on
and
that.
Closer is not
I'd love
safe
to do
by the way, 'cause they
more
still haven't
persistent
seen the smoke
tabletop
bomb.
gaming content.
Yep. And
So
Lance
things like
walking up
Pandemic,
to an Akali
Legacy,
on
or Kingdom
top
Death
of him. He's gonna
Monster.
miss enough to get him out of here. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Aiming collects that very happily.
That kind of stuff.
As another way
Thorne and
of
I have talked about
crashing
doing a
towards the turret.
classic
There's a
graphic
lot of
novel
CS
book
tonight
club,
in
but
that
a lot of
play
this, and
as
then we'll
well.
move into other
Yeah,
titles
and
too.
BDD actually 1v2 here. As long as he doesn't get hit by a binding, is totally fine. He's got flash ult, and he's got Leandria. So every time Envy tries to
Yeah,
walk up here,
there's just a lot of stuff that we want to do. We want to expand beyond esports. We always want to do esports. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of other content we want to do.
Because they have to be walking into Ezreal.
Have I ever played Gloomhaven Nightmare? I have not, but yeah, stuff like that. Because basically the concept is this, guys. We can never beat Critical Role at role playing. It's actually impossible to beat them. They have the perfect, they have like an insane DM, and they have literal professional voice actors playing D&D. I don't know how you beat them. But nobody's making content around games like Gloomhaven or stuff like that, and that's where I think we could do well.
Yeah, the Eclipse build just feels so rough when you're against an Ornn like this. Keen, he can bellow his way through this if he would like to, but not going to be there in time. Shirley goes over to Live Sandbox. KT a little bit late on that rotation as Closer here towards his bottom side looking to take down this turret. He's going to get a fair bit of work done as the cannon is secured by
I mean, this game is over, guys.
Nicely done. BDB up towards the top side.
Game is over. Live Sandbox just trying desperately to split push, which is their only win condition in this game at this point in time. But even then, it's a very slim margin.
Fortunately for Live Sandbox, he's a little bit too late. He has to teleport bottom, and Closer gets some time alone with the minions and almost takes out a turret. So this was kind of best case scenario for Live Sandbox to get a cross map while also defending the objective you got. So second Herald here definitely going to be pretty huge. Yep. For getting back
Sheev123, thanks for your tier 1 sub. Sorry, I missed that one.
Turret hasn't even taken damage.
Appreciate it.
No, this is a very, very happy time.
Talking about board game Gloomhaven, yeah.
Off this dragon as well. Good news for Live Sandbox is they were able to take that lone Chemtech. Lone Chemtech for the stats, not exactly something that you really care about, but delaying Soul.
You think you could beat Critical Role with the right team? Yeah, if we had like actual movie stars doing Critical Role, then maybe.
It's going to actually be pretty good for people like Keen here.
My dream role-playing session with fucking like Brad Pitt and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. So it's just not really going to be too consequential. True Shot Barrage onto Envy. Not the end of the world or anything like that. Is it sales?
Meryl Streep.
It's
Let's
still
go.
good though to grab this turret because, or hit a charge on this turret because it means that you could follow up Group S5 to siege it with your Caitlyn later, and you have this Akali who's going to love when that turret goes down because she can flank more aggressively, and so this is still significant. It's not going to save you in itself, but it does allow some playmaking here for Closer to maybe get back into the game here. As Envy is farming very well. You know, he was sent to mid early. Closer sacrificed a lot of his CS for that, but then got some time in the bottom lane. It's not all doomed here. The game state is really bad, but, you know, one heroic play and Closer picking up a double, for example, definitely turns this game around. So KT need to make sure they don't get too comfortable with this lead they have set up.
Yeah. The one that they really need to respect, especially right now, is this this Akali who has hit that first item. I'm glad you brought that up because it is definitely going to be the way for Live Sandbox to be back in this, is some heroics from Closer.
I think Critical Role is genius, guys. They literally just made the perfect content. And it's talent owned. You know, they handled it perfectly.
At least we know Live Sandbox aren't going to panic. They're going to still wait for those.
Have I seen Chovy's mid Cassante yet? I have not. Probably not going to watch it today either.
Doesn't look like one, as Envy is going to be able to create the distance.
Makes sense though, playing it into the Gragas.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that's a flash gone. Cuz actually could have flash engaged.
Viceroy Live. I can read. Viceroy Live. Thank you for Twitch Prime sub.
by the time
Felicia Day getting them to stream it was an all-time good move. Yeah, I mean, the disappointing thing is they left Geek and Sundry, so Felicia Day got shafted. It's crazy that they could leave. Like, what kind of contract did they sign where they could just leave Geek and Sundry? Thank you, ganked by Bear. Wow. That sounds like a really terrifying gank. What kind of bear?
I don't know whether it's going to save the life of this turret. 3 minions definitely going to be enough there. So, yeah, KT kind of get what they're looking for. Lahen's moving towards this mid lane now, Cuz moving in yet again. Half the cooldown on that Cyclone has been used up.
This is really cool, though, from aiming. He's just like, I already pushed.
They sold Geek and Sundry. Yeah, I know. Dude, I don't know, man. I've got... When I was, like, coming up with the ideas for LFN, because, like, obviously the plan was never to stop at esports. You know, I looked into what happened with Geek and Sundry, and, I mean, they were just full of terrible ideas. Wasn't it Legendary that bought it? The movie production company? I think it was Legendary. Full of terrible ideas about how to handle that. I asked Day 9. I asked Day 9 what happened to his Magic the Gathering show on Geek and Sundry, because it was doing huge numbers. And it was like beautifully produced. And he basically told me that Wizards of the Coast was paying for it. And when they stopped paying for it, they couldn't justify making it anymore, even though it was getting like millions of views. So they were just really bad at monetizing their own content, where they were super dependent on the game company manufacturer to pay them to do it. They didn't have a lot of other advertisers. Their sales team must have just been garbage.
From Rascal. See whether Keen can do something like that himself. This True Shot Barrage is going to miss. His Envy just bails. Doesn't want anything to do with this mid lane, to be perfectly honest.
I think he might have similar damage.
That business was just
this game continues the way it does, but I
horribly
think
handled.
Hard pressed to compete with this Leandres this year and this Ezreal. You know?
Am I familiar with the Ringer? Yeah. Yes. Of course I am. LFN is basically esports the Ringer.
Yeah.
Literally, that is the pitch, guys. When we go to investors, I literally designed LFN to be the esports the Ringer. That is the whole business. That is the entire business of LFN.
Especially if Live Sandbox hard contest and lose the fight, like that's a Baron angle. They have so much damage. 2-item Ezreal, the Leandres, and even Ornn is going to do so much.
Your story is what happened, similar to happening with Bill Simmons. Yes. LFN is esports the Ringer. It's the Ringer for nerds. That's what it is. That's literally our pitch for investors. That's why investors like us in this garbage economy, and we're actually having success talking to them, is because it's literally a super proven business model.
Abuse him here while they have so much setup here for this Drake, but the timing actually not as crisp as KT would have liked. I think Live Sandbox still going to be hard pressed to come in for a contest. Can they actually turn this Drake give into a mid?
All right, guys. I'll talk more about. I do want to talk about Beyond the Summit. I will answer that question.
They just can't.
Yeah, they do manage to secure this top lane. Closer teleporting up there. We'll be able to at least knock that one down.
Well, let's finish this game first. I mean, we haven't been talking about it because there's nothing to talk about. Live Sandbox basically hard-inted draft versus KT, and then they hard-inted their side lanes. So there's like no chance that they win this game now.
Could have been better for KT. So a bit of respite for Live Sandbox with the fact that it isn't an Infernal Drake.
I mean, KT would have to just mega throw around an objective and give up a Baron for free. And even then, I'm not sure they do anything because the hard engage is just so strong from KT as well. If they were getting siege, they could just engage with Ornn ult, you know, shuffle, Wukong, Karma Speed. There's no front line from Live Sandbox. Like, what do they even do?
Of the Shadow Flame that we very often see on the Akali. So I think it's still probably the best choice, but you don't feel good about it at all, really, in this scenario. It's going to be useful, too, as the game goes on. Don't get me wrong, but you're really feeling like, I'm not spiking at all here. I'm trying to scale as the Akali, who's totally missed the window to be extremely strong in mid-game.
And it just shows that you haven't found that acceleration. As Ace in the Hole comes in, Lahen's shields it up, so aiming is going to be absolutely fine. Yeah, it is the right call to make, but it just feels bad. It just feels real bad because you haven't been able to find that mid-game power that you were looking for. So once he does get to 3 items, right, like that's when you get all of that value out of the Void stuff. And he still does do damage, just cruising. Like there's still just Just cruise. They don't have to make plays or anything like that, as Closer is going to be able to go back to his shuriken.
The Azir, so every time BDD is farming, he's behind where his turret.
Oh, Resident Sleeper.
So KT can defend him, and now they're grouped with this Wukong topside to potentially start Baron. And
okay, just start Baron, then turn, please. Okay, Keen, you don't have to do this. Okay, why? No.
And it's only on to Willa, so KT not really
fine.
too much. They might be able to just brute force this turret.
Fine, just take the turret. Walk back. Okay. Okay, thank you for taking the turret, finally.
King can escape this one. As Closer diving forward, that's a decent shot.
Okay, just leave. Just leave.
As KT, they take the turret.
Wait for Arnold to come back up.
Envy standing up. Light Binding goes just wide. And BDD with his shifting sands is going to be able to shield up a bit of that one.
This is best case scenario, honestly, for Live Sandbox. And with these health bars taking some serious damage, they might be able to turn this into their own turret mid. Closer's got a flank.
Absolutely. The minion wave is going to be taken down, but still, Live Sandbox showing some signs of
backfired a bit
really
by KT.
Back very well in this scenario. Sure, you lose your turret, but with the Shock Blast connections there from Birdall, you've actually regained so much more control of the map. You stop the Baron. I think trying to call the Forge God there in mid instead of just forcing the fight on the Baron itself, definitely a step too far from KT. It's going to cost them big. Now, they can defend this turret for now.
Yeah, I agree with Wolf. I would have just tried to force the Baron in turn, or I would have threatened the Ornn ult on the flank, but not actually used it and see if you could get mid-turret down.
Damage here in these neutral fights, because he needs to. Versus the Ezreal poke, versus the chip damage from this Leandries here from BDD. Those shock blasts have to trade back, otherwise you're always giving up control on neutral. So he needs to continue to be able to have that accuracy, and so far so good.
Yeah, playing around this Call of the Forge God cooldown was absolutely beautiful here from Live Sandbox. Seeing the fact that Envy was able to avoid getting hit by it, and then realizing that KT weren't going to be able to fight back as well unless they fully commit. And Live Sandbox, they do have more of those poke options. Nice to see them actually manage to figure something out, but we've become, if maybe another overextension flash available here for Keen if he wants to use it. And not a lot of punishment this time from Live Sandbox. KT's got to get a little bit more accurate with these ones, though.
Yeah, exactly. Very bizarre here. Also,
why is Keen just using his ult super aggressively?
It's just compositionally.
Just save it for an objective. Holy shit.
For them to overcome if this game becomes about front-to-back team fighting later on. As Keen going to call the Forge God once again, but he isn't going to be able to knock it.
Wait, what happened?
It's difficult for them to overcome if this game becomes about front-to-back team fighting later on. As Keen,
oh, he got knocked by Jace. Birdall, so annoying, man.
Going to call the Forge God once again, but he isn't going to be able to knock it back into Envy another time.
Well, I got the flash out. It's kind of worth, actually.
Overextension flash available here for Keen if he wants to use it. And not a lot of punishment this time from Live Sandbox. KT's got to get a little bit more accurate with these ones, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of worth. You got both of Envy summoners.
Also, you know, this is a big ultimate down before this Drake contest. I mean, they still absolutely have control, but now they have to watch their flank here as there's a wraparound from Willer.
All right, there's the flash, and Envy just going to get destroyed, aiming.
It was worth it, guys, because Envy is dumb and was just standing here next to a Sand Soldier in mid lane and didn't respect the flash from BDD. That is just free. Envy just trolling.
Him up really nicely done from KT, and that should be now a free dragon.
Without the call of the Forge God, they don't care if they can.
Ended up being worth because Envy misplayed.
Talking about Willer, he just instantly recalls. So they're going to run to Baron. And there's 3,000
assists.
There you go. And they are going to come over here to this Baron pit, but they don't have enough damage without that Caitlyn here to rush it down, so they can set up some vision here behind the pit. But that is all that Live Sandbox will get back. And yeah, I want to watch that fight again. I wonder if he was interrupted on the call of the Forge God.
Yeah, he was. He was knocked by Jace with his boink.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was knocked away from it. That's really cute.
That was actually pretty cool from Birdall there.
He's already got both thumbs, and because Envy is a bot, he just walked into mid lane. Envy was mind controlled by BDD.
As you can see on the minimap, there's a wraparound from Willer. They see him, and they just call kill Envy. BDD shuffles in, grabs him, and then that's the end of that.
Yeah. Really nicely played from KT. The follow-up, Keen, even though he's unable to find it, there are just so many things in the 16 on, so you can add at least 3,000 gold to that as Willer finds
surprise Willer.
Aiming. Can they burst him? They do manage to take him down. Keen gets a knock-up, but it's only onto Birdall. And is going to get it back again onto Willer as well. KT, they lose their AD carry.
Good play.
Large is still relatively close, guys. But based on what these compositions can do, ease of execution, things like that.
That's such a good wraparound,
it's
actually.
It's going to need to be more than just the Baron. I know the gold is still relatively close, guys. But based on
how does Willer get back there?
He has.
Oh, he cues over the pit. Ah.
It's going to need to be more than just
That's
the
tricky,
Baron.
guys.
It's
It's very unreasonable. Look at this vision. I mean, KT has really good pink ward coverage generally around objectives. This is one of their strengths as a team. And they have 4 pink wards here, so it's not,
close,
you know,
guys.
not reasonable that you would assume that Willer is back here. A pink ward back there. Protects the flank. That way he's able to come in over the Raptor pit wall.
Larger advantage than they are.
That's some cute jungling. So cute.
So you can add at least 3,000 gold.
And they know aiming just got chunked out, so he just cues over the wall, hits him. Very nice.
There's also
he gets a, even though there's a pink ward there, he gets the 1 second of vision that he needs, or half a second, or whatever it is. Beautiful. Really well played by Lufthansa.
Keen gets a knock up, but it's only onto Bertol. And is going to get it back again onto Willer as well. KT, they lose their AD carry. Now a possible angle for Liv Sandbox.
I think Liv Sandbox should be willing to pull the trigger here, but you lost a lot of your critical ultimates in order to kill this Ezreal, but this might be the only chance you're ever going to get.
Yeah, you guys like my my musketeer facial hair? This is actually the only kind of facial hair I can really grow. This is what I look like when I try and grow facial hair.
This is the only way
not joking.
You're ever going to kill Ezreal is if you can just 100-0 him with everybody collapsing. The shot calling here is amazing. They know the target, they call it out, and Keen's just using this call to Forge God here for the disengage. But man, the
really good play by Liv Sandbox.
Here is you're running into that poke damage.
That's definitely not KT's fault. They had very good vision. That's just a clever play by Willer.
But if you can have the surprise engage onto this Ezreal, that cleanse alone isn't going to be enough, and we don't have the Mikhails done just yet for Lehens. It's going to be ready fairly soon here. But picks like this, you know, if you can turn that into an objective, it feels amazing. But with BDD being so high health, still having ultimate there, they don't actually commit. And so KT, they lose Ezreal for a second, but go straight back to map control.
Yep. This feels so difficult.
Thank you, KJW420. I hope you get a freeze pipe as well with 10% discount with your code LFN.
A little bit more of an advantage in the early game. This game could have looked so different, but when you're just
need a cowboy hat and you can add Desperado, Monty. Yeah, well, I could just go walk over and get a cowboy hat.
Definitely making the most of it here.
IE is done for Envy, you know, and if they can have somehow...
The problem is I think KT is having trouble closing it out. I mean, I guess, but they only get stronger. Now, should they be baiting Baron? Yeah, but at this point, they're just going to play for soul, right? Here we go. 30 seconds until soul. Nice, again, ring of pink wards around Baron. KT loves control ward rings. Mini Mike 97. Appreciate you, not like those other bums, but I definitely don't appreciate squatting in my chat. Pay rent.
He's not even in the side. They're like, he's out there. We'll kill him.
As aiming, just diving after Envy here, but he's able to walk it out. Does have those 3 items. You mentioned the Infinity Edge has been completed. 3 seconds on this Cloud Soul opportunity for KT. And Rabbiden's death cap completed at exactly that time.
Japes, thank you for paying rent with Jeff Bezos' money. All right, here we go.
For KT, they kind of tunneled on Baron super hard, didn't start it. So now there's an angle here potentially for closer and Willer to wrap around. Oh, he's seen though.
Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a spectator bug there. As, all right, KT, they've got a lot of damage. Half the health bar now on this Cloud Drake as Keen just standing in front of them. He's looking to try and get that knock-up.
He missed his flash ult.
As once again, Keen in these teamfight scenarios hasn't been able to find it as BDD gets a flash out of Bertol. Smite has been picked up here by Keen. That was what was shown to us by the observers just before.
Yeah,
heal away from the dragon.
No vision here for the Jace, so he's kind of just firing blind.
Oh, once again, Willer finding the angle. There is cease and desist as Cuz, a very early Cyclone. And they're not going to have that for the next team fight. Great Shock Blast connects onto aiming here.
This is the angle for Liv Sandbox. If you're going to win a fight, it's going to be this one.
Yeah, good shuriken backflip there from Closer, but he's just going to get knocked up. Keen just happy to tank this one. Slahans uses the W defensively. KT, they start this up once again.
So much damage in this comp.
I don't understand why KT is like they're not just going after the objective and then turning. Like what they're being. Why are they fishing? Why are they like not starting the objective and trying to fish before the objective fight starts? You have 2 smites. You have 2 smites because Keen has Spellbook. And it's much easier to turn when people are fully committed to an engage with an Ornald.
And an Elder Drake is now on the cards.
And if we're going to be really critical of KT, a team that's trying to push themselves closer and closer to maybe getting that top 2 spot, but proving themselves heading into playoffs, you know, this lead they've had and the control they've had with this Ezreal and Fed Azir hasn't been that impressive. You know, we've seen them.
Thank you. Too strong. G. Thank you very much for paying your rent and not being a bum. Here's your tuxedo and E-Brandy to enjoy my stream in luxury. Smoking jacket's also appropriate.
For them to do so, but you know, if this game continues to go on, maybe Liv Sandbox has a chance. Kyle?
What? Okay, Kyle just takes most of his health bar from a couple of abilities from aiming. Aiming just reminding us all that he's got 4 items, feeling pretty good about his life as Willa. He's going to Vault Breaker his way out, just a little one, as Kuz uses the Warrior Trickster to avoid Shock Blast.
Yeah, Ornn is massive. I mean, this is a long game just because it behooves KT to make it as long as possible, even though they are playing these objectives kind of bad.
Aiming as well, going to take a bit back, but still, they're able to just siege down this inner turret in the mid lane.
It's like they're so scared Willer's going to get him,
man. Dude,
on the
I would be too. I would be too. Can you blame anyone for being scared of a Willa steal, especially Kuz?
Lahen's is like, I'm tracking him, man. I know where he is. We're safe. We're good.
Yeah, we're good for now as the
Okay,
Baron goes down.
Finally a safe Baron. Truly, it should be over now, right?
Good Ornn player. But look, he's
man, Wukong with Cloud Soul feels great.
Forge God is also very strong, even if his accuracy hasn't been amazing. He's level 18 and he gave everybody ornaments, so still doing his job.
Absolutely, and he's got a lot of ability haste, so he doesn't really. Is going to
well, the game was super boring, but
he kind of has as Willa dives on top of BDD. He breaks his stopwatch though. That call of Forge God is going to connect, but the Mystic shots do not, and BDD is going to fall down. Out of 6,000, I believe, that he kind of has as Willa dives on top of BDD. He breaks his stopwatch though. That call of Forge God is going to connect, but the
actually insane they're able to kill BDD, especially considering BDD dodges most of it. He dodges the Lux ult here, but he tries to predict Willer ulting. Willer actually just baits him. Willer baits him into Zhonya's, and then ults him after Zhonya's. Pretty good.
And BDD is going to fall down. Now Closer diving on forward. Can he find the opportunity? The interrupt is fantastic though, and Closer has to flash to get himself out of the way. Aiming, standing his ground now.
Willer's pretty good, guys. This guy should probably be on a better team.
Oh my God! What?
Okay.
Absurd.
Aiming's huge.
Ezreal is insane, and now he's going to be 7-0 on it here, I think, as this game is basically on lock. Now, here comes a Willer engage. They should be able to get out of here.
Where there's a Willer, there's a way.
Yeah, that's the new saying. That's the new motto here for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah. It's a good motto. Love it.
Kids, they don't panic, but also where there's a Willer, there's a way. As KT are going to break down another.
They should also use the Willer to power.
It's looking like we're running out of Willers. And running out of ways for Liv Sandbox.
BDD does not have teleport, so they're actually going to back away here, even though they have a empowered onto Envy. So the opportunity is real here. You end up taking BDD out, and now Closer's like, they're low, I'm going in for the finish, but he can't quite do the job here. He has to flash away, and then the play from aiming is actually just beautiful. It's a W onto Envy. Hits him once, another W, bam!
Ooh.
Oh, so clean.
And he missed, like there was a minion wave in the way through a lot of that, and actually like Liv Sandbox played around the range of
cool, now we have a Serelda's on Ezreal. Everything is fine for this Elder Dragon. Let's go. Oh. Probably smart of Liv Sandbox just to try and make a play here.
For BDD, there's a chance, there's a will.
Oh, he stood next to the turret corpse.
Though he gets into the shroud, but can they actually get anything done? As Willa is going to be taken down. No way this time around.
Wow, Keen actually hits. He hits knockups on back-to-back tower remnants.
flanking off into the jungle, but he's not going to be able to. The true shot barrage comes on in.
Well,
and
Keen thought he was helping, but didn't actually matter. Closer gets it anyway.
For the Nexus of Live Sandbox here in game number 1. KT felt like they were in control throughout the majority of this game. It took a long
All right. Well,
early game
it could have been more exciting, guys, you have to say.